25 years ago, a generation of men fell in love with Tyler Durden. They quoted his lines, mimicked his style, started their own fight clubs. They thought he was the hero, the anarchist, the liberator, the voice of truth in a fake world. But here's what David Fincher actually showed you. Tyler Durden is a fascist, and the film was warning you the entire time. Welcome to 25th Frame. The next 30 minutes will prove that Fight Club isn't about rebellion. It's about how broken men create monsters, worship them, and call it freedom. You've been watching this film wrong for 25 years. And when you see what Fincher actually put on screen, you'll never be able to unsee it. Let's go deeper. Act 1. The Seduction. The narrator you never questioned, the film opens with a gun in someone's mouth. Our narrator, whose name we never learn. Tyler Durden holds the gun. Buildings are about to explode. The narrator is terrified. Tyler says, 3 minutes, this is it, ground zero. And the narrator's voiceover begins. People are always asking me if I know Tyler Durden. Wait, why is that the first line? Not, how did I get here? Not, what have I done? But, do you know Tyler Durden? Because from the very first frame, Fincher is telling you, this story isn't about the narrator. It's about your relationship with Tyler. Do you know him? Do you love him? Do you want to be him? The film is designed to seduce you, to make you fall in love with Tyler just like the narrator did. And then, when you're fully invested, Fincher pulls the rug out. He shows you what you've been worshiping. But most viewers never get there. They stop at the seduction. The IKEA catalog, the first symptom. Let's start with the narrator's life before Tyler. He works a job he hates. Recall coordinator for a car company. He applies a formula to decide if recalls are cheaper than lawsuits. He lives alone in a condo, and he furnishes it with IKEA. The famous montage. Like everyone else, I had become a slave to the IKEA nesting instinct. If I saw something clever like a little coffee table in the shape of a yin-yang, I had to have it. We see his apartment as an IKEA catalog. Labels appear on furniture, prices, SKU numbers. It's satirical. It's funny. We get it. Consumer culture is empty. Possessions don't bring meaning. But here's what people miss. The narrator isn't a victim of consumer culture. He's a victim of isolation. Watch the scene again. He's alone, completely alone. No friends, no family, no human connection. He fills the void with objects because he has nothing else. The problem isn't the furniture. The problem is the loneliness. And when Tyler appears, he doesn't offer the narrator meaning or connection. He offers a different kind of consumption. Instead of buying things, you'll buy an identity. Instead of IKEA, you'll have Fight Club. But the emptiness remains. The support groups, addiction to pain. The narrator has insomnia. He can't sleep. He's dead inside. His doctor won't give him medication. Instead, he says, "You want to see pain? Go to a support group." So the narrator starts attending support groups for diseases he doesn't have. Testicular cancer, tuberculosis, brain parasites, and surrounded by people who are actually dying, he finally feels something. He cries, and then he sleeps. He becomes addicted to this. This was freedom. Losing all hope was freedom. Read that again. Losing hope equals freedom. This is the narrator's philosophy before he even meets Tyler. He's not looking for revolution. He's looking for oblivion. He wants to stop feeling the pressure to be someone, to succeed, to matter. He wants permission to give up, and Tyler will give him that permission. But it won't be freedom. It will be surrender to something worse. Marla Singer, the woman who sees through it, then Marla appears. She's also faking her way through support groups, also dead inside, also seeking something real in a world of performance. She's the narrator's mirror, and he hates her for it, because seeing her ruins his immersion, reminds him that he's a tourist in other people's pain. He confronts her. We need to split up the groups. You take these, I'll take those. She agrees, but she says, I'll take the parasites. Parasites. Remember that word, because Marla is the only character in the film who tells the truth. She sees the narrator for what he is, a parasite feeding off real suffering to feel alive. And later, when Tyler appears, she'll be the only one who sees through him too. She asks the narrator, is Tyler your imaginary friend? She knows, but the narrator can't hear her because he's already fallen in love. The plane. When the devil introduces himself, the narrator meets Tyler on a plane. Tyler is everything the narrator isn't. Confident, charismatic, free, wearing a loud red leather jacket, selling soap. He talks in aphorisms. You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. It sounds profound, liberating. But listen closer. Tyler isn't saying you have value beyond those things. He's saying those things have no value, that nothing has value, which means you have no value. This is nihilism dressed as enlightenment, and the narrator drinks it up. Tyler gives him a business card. It says, Paper Street Soap Company. And then Tyler says something crucial. If you wake up at a different time in a different place, could you wake up as a different person? This is the inception moment. Tyler is planting the idea that identity is fluid, that you can be anyone, that the self is a lie. And the narrator, desperate to escape himself, believes it. But here's the trick. If you can be anyone, you can be convinced to do anything, because there's no you to stop you. The explosion, destroying the past, the narrator comes home to find his condo exploded. Everything he owns is gone. The IKEA, the clothes, the life he built. He's devastated, and he calls Tyler. They meet at a bar. Tyler listens, drinks, then says, things you own end up owning you. It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. And the narrator, broken, accepts this. He moves in with Tyler into a derelict house on Paper Street, a house that's falling apart. No heat, holes in the roof, toxic waste in the basement. And Tyler frames this as freedom. But look at what's actually happening. The narrator had a home, stability, safety. Now he has nothing. And Tyler tells him this is liberation. This is the abuser's playbook. Isolate the victim. Destroy their support systems. Make them dependent. And frame it as their choice. The narrator chose to leave his condo, except he didn't. Tyler blew it up. The film will reveal this later. But even on first viewing, watch the scene when the narrator calls Tyler. He's at a payphone. He scrolls through his phone book. He has no one else to call. Tyler isn't offering freedom. He's exploiting isolation. The first rule: creating the cult. Tyler and the narrator start fighting in a parking lot. Just for fun. Just to feel something. Other men see them, want to join. And Fight Club is born. Tyler lays out the rules. First rule of Fight Club: you do not talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club: you do not talk about Fight Club. Third rule: someone yells stop, goes limp, taps out, the fight is over. Fourth rule: only 2 guys to a fight. Fifth rule: 1 fight at a time. Sixth rule: no shirts, no shoes. Seventh rule: fights will go on as long as they have to. Eighth rule: if this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight. These aren't rules. This is indoctrination. Rule 1 and 2, secrecy. You're part of something special, something the outside world doesn't understand. Rule 3, you can tap out. You have control, except you don't, because of Rule 7. Fights go on as long as they have to, which means until Tyler decides. Rule 8, immediate participation. No time to think, no time to question. You're in. This is textbook cult programming, and the narrator doesn't see it. Because he's finally part of something. He has brothers. He has purpose. He has an identity. Even if that identity is guy who gets punched in the face. The philosophy: rejecting fatherhood, embracing destruction. Tyler's monologues are the heart of the film, and they sound radical, true, dangerous in the best way. We're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is really the answer we need. Our fathers were our models for God. If our fathers bailed, what does that tell you about God? You are not special. You're not a beautiful and unique snowflake. You're the same decaying organic matter as everything else. On the surface, this seems like a critique of consumerism, of absent fathers, of false promises. But listen to what Tyler is actually saying. You have no inherent value. You were lied to. And the solution is to destroy everything. Not to build something better, just to destroy. Tyler's philosophy is pure negation. He doesn't offer an alternative vision. He offers a void. And he fills that void with himself. He becomes the father figure he claims to critique. The narrator and the other men don't follow Tyler's ideas. They follow Tyler. They worship him. And Tyler encourages this. He stands shirtless, charismatic, leading the group. He speaks in commandments. He creates rituals. He doesn't liberate these men. He gives them a new God. Himself. The lie scene. The baptism of pain. One of the most disturbing scenes in the film. Tyler pours lye on the narrator's hand. Chemical burn. Excruciating pain. The narrator tries to use his meditation techniques. Go to your cave. Find your power animal. Tyler slaps him. No, stay with the pain. Don't shut it out. This is the greatest moment of your life, and you're off somewhere missing it. He holds the narrator down, forces him to watch his hand blister and burn. It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. And then he neutralizes the burn with vinegar. The narrator looks at his hand, a permanent scar in the shape of Tyler's kiss. This is framed as enlightenment, as facing reality without illusion. But this is torture. Tyler is literally burning his mark into the narrator's flesh. This is branding, ownership, and the narrator thanks him for it, because the pain made him feel real. This is how abuse becomes devotion. The abuser creates the wound, then offers relief, and the victim bonds to them. Tyler isn't teaching the narrator to be free. He's teaching him to crave the burn. Act 2, The Escalation Project. Mayhem, from Fight Club to terrorism. Fight Club was just the beginning. Tyler escalates. He creates Project Mayhem, an organized operation with a hierarchy, uniforms, and missions. The men of Fight Club become space monkeys, shaved heads, black clothes, no names, no identities. They vandalize, sabotage, terrorize. They pour blood into a fountain at a fertility clinic. They erase security footage from video stores. They threaten a city official. You're going to resign. If you don't, we'll cut off your balls. And Tyler frames this as revolution. In the world I see, you're stalking elk through the damp canyon forests around the ruins of Rockefeller Center. You'll wear leather clothes that will last you the rest of your life. You'll climb the wrist-thick kudzu vines that wrap the Sears Tower. And when you look down, you'll see tiny figures pounding corn, laying strips of venison on the empty carpool lane of some abandoned superhighway. It's a seductive vision, a return to primal masculinity, to purpose, to a world without corporate bullshit. But notice what's missing. Women, community, cooperation, building anything. It's just men. Hunting, fighting, dominating a ruined world. This isn't revolution. It's apocalyptic fantasy. And the methods aren't liberation. They're terrorism. Tyler isn't fighting the system. He's creating chaos. And chaos doesn't liberate. It just creates a power vacuum, which Tyler fills. The franchising of violence project. Mayhem spreads. Other cities. Other chapters. Other space monkeys following Tyler's orders. And the narrator realizes he's lost control. He didn't create this. Tyler did. He confronts Tyler. I think we should stop. This is going too far. Tyler looks at him with contempt. You're too old for this. You're not your fucking khakis. And the space monkeys ignore the narrator because he's not their leader. Tyler is. The narrator has become irrelevant in his own movement. This is the moment the film shifts. The narrator starts to see what he's created. Not freedom, not brotherhood. A cult, with himself as the prophet. Except he's not even that. Tyler is the prophet, and the narrator is just the first convert. Bob's death, when it becomes real, Robert Paulson. Bob, the testicular cancer survivor from the support group, the first place the narrator felt anything. Bob joins Fight Club, then Project Mayhem, and on a mission, Bob gets shot. He dies in the narrator's arms, and the space monkeys won't even say his name. In Project Mayhem, we have no names. The narrator screams, "His name was Robert Paulson!" And the space monkeys start chanting, "His name was Robert Paulson! His name was Robert Paulson!" They turn his death into a slogan, a recruitment tool, martyrdom. This is when the narrator fully understands. These men aren't free. They're soldiers in Tyler's army, and they'll die for him, not for a cause, not for a better world. For Tyler, the revelation. Tyler is you. The narrator travels to find Tyler, to stop him. And he discovers Tyler has been traveling, meeting with other chapters, building the operation. But the narrator has no memory of this. He talks to people who've met Tyler. They describe conversations the narrator doesn't remember. And then Marla says, "You're trying to be him again, aren't you?" Again. The narrator realizes he is Tyler Durden. Tyler is his dissociative identity, a hallucination, a split personality. Everything Tyler did, the narrator did. He started Fight Club. He created Project Mayhem. He had sex with Marla while believing he was Tyler. He blew up his own apartment. He burned his own hand. He built an army. And the film recontextualizes. We see flashes, moments where Tyler appeared on screen before we met him. Subliminal frames, split-second insertions. Tyler was always there. The narrator created him because he needed him, because he was too weak to be what Tyler is. So he invented someone who could. Act 3. The horror. What Tyler actually represents. Now we know the twist. Tyler is the narrator's fantasy of power. Everything the narrator wishes he could be. But let's analyze what that actually means. The narrator is depressed, lonely, emasculated by modern life. He feels powerless in a world that doesn't value him. So he creates Tyler. And what does Tyler do? He doesn't build community. He destroys it. He doesn't create intimacy. He uses people. He doesn't fight injustice. He terrorizes randomly. Tyler is the narrator's rage without direction, his pain without empathy, his masculinity without responsibility. Tyler isn't a hero. He's the narrator's worst impulses given form. And the film shows you this. Watch what Tyler actually does. He manipulates. He lies. He abuses. He uses violence not as a last resort, but as a first option. He builds a hierarchy where he's the untouchable god, and everyone else is expendable. He talks about freeing men from society's lies, but he replaces those lies with his own. You are not special becomes I am. am special. Follow me. Tyler Durden is a fascist, and the narrator worshipped him, just like you did. The plan: erasing debt, erasing civilization. Tyler's final plan: blow up the credit card company buildings, erase the debt records, reset the scoreboard to 0. It sounds revolutionary. Debt is crushing people. The system is rigged. Blow it up and start over. But think about what this actually means. Erasing debt doesn't fix inequality. It creates chaos. Hospitals lose funding. Infrastructure collapses. People die. And Tyler knows this. He doesn't care. Because his goal isn't to fix the system, it's to watch it burn. He says it himself. It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. Losing everything includes losing people, losing stability, losing the possibility of building something better. Tyler wants year 0, not because it will lead to utopia, but because destruction feels like power. This is accelerationism, the belief that the only way forward is to burn it all down. And historically, you know who thrives in that chaos? Not the vulnerable, not the oppressed, the strong men, the warlords, the fascists. Tyler isn't the antidote to the system. He's the next evolution of it. The shooting, killing your false god. The narrator realizes he has to stop Tyler. But how do you stop yourself? He tries beating himself up. Doesn't work. He tries reasoning. Tyler doesn't care. Finally, he realizes, if Tyler is him, then killing Tyler means killing himself. So he puts the gun in his own mouth and pulls the trigger. The bullet goes through his cheek, non-fatal, and Tyler collapses. Because Tyler only exists if the narrator believes in him. The moment the narrator rejects him, chooses reality over fantasy, Tyler disappears. This is the film's thesis. The monster isn't external, it's internal. And the only way to defeat it is to reject the part of yourself that wants easy answers, that wants a strong man to follow, that wants permission to destroy. You have to kill that voice, even if it costs you everything. The buildings fall. The horror of victory. The narrator survives. He's holding Marla's hand, and they watch the buildings explode. Credit card companies, financial institutions, towers collapsing, dust clouds, chaos, and the space monkeys watching from below celebrate. The narrator says to Marla, "You met me at a very strange time in my life," and the film ends. But this isn't a happy ending. The narrator stopped Tyler, but he didn't stop Project Mayhem. The buildings are falling, people are dying, and an army of radicalized men are out there, worshiping a dead god, ready to commit more violence. The narrator didn't save the world. He just stopped being part of the problem. And that's the most Fincher can give us. Because once you've created a monster, killing it doesn't undo the damage. Why the film predicted the future. Fight Club came out in 1999, and it flopped. Critics hated it. Audiences didn't get it. But then something happened. Young men discovered it on DVD, and they fell in love with Tyler. They quoted him, dressed like him, started real fight clubs. They missed the point entirely. Fincher made a cautionary tale. They watched a how-to guide. And 25 years later, we see Tyler everywhere, in the manosphere, in red pill forums, in accelerationist movements. Men who feel emasculated by modern life, searching for meaning through dominance. Influencers selling the same philosophy. Reject society, embrace pain, follow me. The same cult mechanics, the same promise of purpose through destruction. Tyler Durden isn't a relic of the 90s. He's more relevant now than ever, because the conditions that created him haven't changed. Men are still lonely, still isolated, still searching for meaning. And grifters are still offering Tyler's solution. Blame someone. Break something. Feel powerful. But Fincher showed you where that leads. Dead friends, burning buildings, and a fascist in your head. Who David Fincher really is. Here's the thing people forget. David Fincher isn't Tyler Durden. He's the narrator at the end of the film. He's the guy who created the monster, realized what he'd done, and tried to stop it. Fight Club is Fincher's confession. He made C7N. Gloriously dark, stylish violence. He made The Game, twist endings and mind games. He perfected the aesthetic of cool nihilism. And then he made Fight Club. And he looked at what he'd created and said, "This is dangerous. People will worship this. I need to show them why that's wrong." So he made Tyler Durden irresistible. And then made him a monster. He seduced you, and then asked, "Why did you fall for it?" Most people never get to the second part. They stop at the seduction. And Fincher knows this. That's why the film is so despairing. Because he made a film warning you about fascism, and people used it as a recruitment tool. If this breakdown made you see Fight Club differently, save this video. Write in the comments, did you worship Tyler? And if you did, when did you stop? I'm 25th Frame, and I'll keep dissecting the films that shaped you without you realizing it. Next breakdown is your choice. See you when you're ready to kill your idols.